What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Rich, back to bring you your NFL props for Monday Night Football between the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks. Russ is returning to Seattle. Massive revenge game narrative for Russell Wilson, but let's not forget about the little revenge game narrative for Noah Fant as well, who was dealt in that deal. Big game today. Denver is favored by 6.5 on the road. Geno Smith, how is he going to look? DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett. We'll see. There's a lot of things to kind of go through in this game. Biggest factor here ultimately is the Seahawks. Is how do they look? Are they as bad as last year? Is Denver and this revamped offense with Russell Wilson really going to be high flying and passing the ball like crazy, letting Russ cook like we've been waiting, it seems like, for years for it to finally come? Is it going to come today? I mean, I don't know, but in my opinion, it's a really good opportunity for that to happen. So let's start right at the top of the props, my favorite ones that I like. I'm going to give you two that I really like, and I'll talk about a few more, but my favorite one by far stems from another backup running back in Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon is a guy that no one wants to draft in fantasy leagues, but has been a pretty good value for years. And from a betting perspective, I think he's in a really good spot today. So we're starting off with Melvin Gordon, and I like his over for his receiving yards at 9.5. Now, he hit this number in 9 of 16 games last season, which doesn't sound great, but again, these targets will be coming from Russell Wilson this year and not from Drew Lock, which is a massive upgrade for him. But on top of that, the other reason why I like Gordon is because he's been getting 2 targets a game in 13 of his 16 games that he played. And in my opinion, to go over 9.5 receiving yards, he's only going to need 2 targets. He'll probably catch both, and I think he can go over easily. The biggest factor here is that the Seattle Seahawks allowed the most receiving yards to opposing running backs last season, over 1,100 yards. That was 200 yards more than the next team, the New York Jets. So a team that is already abysmal on defense allowed the most receiving yards to opposing running backs, and you're telling me I'm getting a running back at 9.5 receiving yards. I love Melvin Gordon's number. I love Javonte's as well. I think, whether you want to go after Javonte, whether you want to go after Melvin Gordon, or you want to go after both, the Seattle Seahawks have been terrible at guarding opposing running backs out of the backfield. And on top of that, they lost Bobby Wagner, probably one of the best linebackers in franchise history. So how much better are they really going to fare against this position? Probably not too good. So smash the over on Melvin Gordon's 9.5 receiving yards. It's probably one of my favorite plays of the day by far. Now, the other one I really like on that Denver side is Russell Wilson over 253 passing yards, and that is minus 110 on FanDuel. I think FanDuel has the best number right now, so go and get that because it's probably going to go up. DK has it at 255, and other places have a few bit ticks higher than that, but at 253, I mean, it's pretty modest for Russell Wilson. We know he's a guy who can go for 300 pretty easily. We're projecting big games from Jerry Judy, big games from Cortland Sutton. Overall, there's just so many things that could happen in this game. And for me, the way I'm looking at it right now, I don't see a world where he just doesn't go over this number. I'm looking at my projections and the ones we have from MySparry. And right now, you see it. Russell Wilson, again, 255. We've been projected for 294 passing yards. We have overs for Judy. We have overs for Sutton. Everything I'm seeing is saying that he's probably going to go over. And again, like I mentioned, the Seattle Seahawks, I'm pretty sure, allowed the second most passing yards in the NFL last season. 4,766 passing yards to opposing quarterbacks. Russell Wilson talked about how they tried to trade him years ago and they couldn't get it done. And so there's definitely a little bit of resentment there. Now, he's not going to go Baker Mayfield and tell him he's going to fuck them up, but he's going to do it silently and he's going to do it on the field. He's actually going to perform. So I love Russell Wilson's passing yards over 253.5, which is minus 110 on FanDuel, and then minus 110 for Melvin Gordon on FanDuel as well at 9.5 receiving yards. And if you want another play, I also kind of like Melvin Gordon's rushing yards. Seattle is still one of the worst defenses against the run, not quite as bad against the run as they are against the pass. I believe they were 8th worst in allowing rushing yards to opposing running backs. And Melvin Gordon went over this number in 12 of 16 games. So again, another opportunity for him to show why he deserves to get that 45% touch share that we hope for. Benjamin Albright, an insider who knows the Broncos organization better than most, talked about how Melvin Gordon will be used more than people are hoping for, and I think that means it will be a near 50-50 split between the two running backs. Javonte Williams, we know he's probably going to be the guy, but it may not be as much of a carry split as people were hoping for when they drafted him very high in their fantasy leagues. So I like Melvin Gordon today. I think he's a value play, and with how bad the Seahawks are against running backs, I think he's in a great spot. So those are kind of my two favorite plays. If I was to take anyone from the receiving side on the Denver Broncos, it would be Jerry Judy. A lot of people are on Tyler Lockett to go over his numbers. You look at that kind of the targets. Another guy I kind of liked was Noah Fant. We have a good projection for Noah Fant, but looking back at the game logs, Geno Smith didn't really target the tight end too much, so I'm not really willing to go there, but I think there's a world where Noah Fant does go over. Again, massive revenge narrative for him, wanting to stick it to his former team, but Denver, pretty good against tight ends and receivers, frankly. And Geno Smith did not really throw much other than to Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. Like I mentioned, I think Lockett is the best play on the Seattle side, but I'm not necessarily playing that. And if you did want to stack Russell Wilson with the receiver, in my opinion, the best value is Jerry Judy and his over for his receiving yards. We have them projected pretty close based off my Sparty's projections, and I think that Judy has the slightly higher edge in that regard. Much as I love Sutton, I think both have a great shot to go over, and Judy would be my pick if I was stacking them. But the two main plays, Melvin Gordon over 9.5 receiving yards, which again is minus 110 on FanDuel, and Russell Wilson over 253 passing yards, which is also on FanDuel and probably will go up pretty soon. I'm pretty sure that's minus 113. So go and grab those bets, go and grab those picks, and let's make some money today. Make sure to drop me a like and subscribe for future content. I will be bringing you another video for Thursday Night Football on Thursday, and then I'll probably do some college and obviously some more NFL beyond that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys for Thursday Night Football, and I'm out. Peace.